For 3.5 years now, I've been getting out on a weekly basis, getting out with the camera, taking you along with me, seeing what I can capture out on my photographic adventures, putting together these small videos in the process. That is 3.5 years of getting out, being a hobby photographer and a very small YouTuber. And a balancing act it is indeed. And this week in this video, I want to talk to you about the highs and lows of combining both aspects. And don't get me wrong, this isn't meant as a video to confess that I'm tired of putting together these little videos. This isn't meant as a goodbye. No, quite the opposite. In fact, I'm really proud that I've actually been doing this for 3.5 years now. I never expected to have such longevity, especially as previously I've never liked being in front of the camera, as you well know. I like to hide behind it, showing off my creativity in that manner. But as a photographer, even as a hobby photographer, there are sacrifices that I have to make whenever I head out with the camera, even in this fashion. A couple of weeks ago, I put out a video talking about my style as a balanced photographer, how there's times where I'll go out, I'll try and get the perfect photo. At the same time, I'll be spontaneous. I'll walk around, see what I can find, see what I come across, just shoot whatever I see. I was talking to a really good friend of mine recently, fellow photographer. They were saying to me how sometimes they put zero planning, zero effort into their thoughts about where they go with the camera. They look on a map, jump in the car and just head off into the unknown. I'd love to be able to do something like that. It sounds so freeing, so spontaneous. Don't always need to know what we're going to do next. However, in the same vein, I think to myself, it's difficult for me to do that. It would be impossible almost for me to do that in my current guise, because whenever I head out with the camera, I've also got to think to myself, I'm going out to put out a YouTube video. Before I even get to the weekend, I've got to ask myself the question, where am I going to go with the camera and what is it that I'm going to talk about? Both of which go hand in hand really. For example, if I want to talk about long exposures, well, obviously I'm going to want to go to the coast. However, there's no point me talking about long exposures if it's not going to be high tide. Equally, there's other factors that I need to take into consideration. I love going to the coast. Where I am here in the southeast of England, I'm no more than an hour from some beautiful parts of the coastline. However, for me as a photographer, even for you watching, I like to think to myself that if I go to the coast too much, if I go back to the same locations, constantly shooting the same thing, I mean, we know how much I love shooting boats, for example, but for me capturing that every week, for you watching that every week, it's going to get pretty boring, isn't it? And then on the flip side, with this small YouTube channel, I've got to think about the trips the adventures it's enabled me to have. It's allowed me to expand my horizons, even locally, coming out to locations such as this, about an hour away from home. Would I make the effort to come out to places such as this purely for photography? Then there's the car camping, the trips to the Peak District, to the Lake District. Would I go all that way if I wasn't recording a video? I certainly don't think I'd endure the discomfort sleeping in the back of my car purely for photography. Talking of car camping, and I'm reminded of the fact that we're fast approaching the time of year where I like to pack the car up, head off into the unknown, head off on a new grand adventure like I do each and every year. Still got to decide where it is that I want to head to with the camera this year. I've done the Peak District, I'll go back there one day. The Lake District, I came home from there last year and I always swore that I had unfinished business. That's a favourite. I might head back there this year, or I might head somewhere entirely different. Jump on a ferry, cross over onto the continent, explore further afield, foreign lands. I think the hardest aspect for me is that when I go out with the camera, it's not necessarily for photography anymore. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not asking you to feel sorry for me, it's my choice and I enjoy doing what it is that I do. But whenever I head out with the camera, whenever I go out and do photography, I've got to think as well that I'm going out to put together a YouTube video. And there's all those elements that come together that I need to get done. I talk about, okay, I try and get out and capture the perfect photo at times, but there's also the aspect that I don't have the time to hang around in one spot. There's other things that I've got to do, talking to the camera, recording the B-roll, various views and shots that I see myself, walking away, walking past, walking towards the camera, all these little things that help tell the story, share where it is that I am. Not to mention the drone footage as well that I like to try and put together where I'm able to. And it all comes back to the balance that I've tried to focus on with my previous videos that I've talked about. There's the balance of enjoying photography. This is why I get out. This is what I love to share with you. And then there is the YouTube videos, the creative aspect that I enjoy as well. It's about making sure that I enjoy both equally. And there's a way that I've worked out this year, I'll talk about it in a future video, how I can enjoy both of those, both together and separately. For example, I get out these days and I make sure as well I focus on photography and I focus on myself. If I take an image and it doesn't make it into the video, oh well, never mind, it doesn't matter.